Welcome back. Part 6 on this November day. November the 14th. Getting close to the winter solstice coming up. We're in the holy days time, the slaughter time of the slayer, Santa with his sleigh, and of course the slaying of the turkeys, this awful ritual, bloodletting sacrifice ritual going on. California is being sacrificed. We're going to be there on the 21st. The only reason it's 32 degrees right now, number of even is because of climate engineering. They've been pushing all the moisture over here and drying out the west. I'm going to share yesterday's cash register synchronicities with you. We're demystifying the mist. We're de-occulting the occult. We're diving into the divine divide of David. We're figuring it out. God equals 26. 26 weeks of spring, summer, 26 weeks of autumn, winter. Now equals 52, which is the total of weeks in a whole year. It's always now. This is the Christ's cross, the sun God's cross of the sea suns. John 1:5, God is light, and in it there is no darkness. The sun, the moon, Luna. Another day, another dollar, idolatry. This is the one God in which this ignorant society trusts. Sad sitting society of spectators and couch potatoes. This is the bricks. All the bricks are all as the society of servants who serve this here master, the light, the owner class. Dark occultists. To a dark occultist, this is a symbol. They invert this into a dark, control symbol of authority, worldly authority and power. Whereas light occultists would say, hey, that's your higher consciousness. That's when you activate your pineal gland in the midbrain, in the green pine cone in the brain tree, its dendrites, branches, and its spinal column. You light up. When your eye is single, your body is filled with light, says Jesus in Matthew 6:22, and he says, take my yoke, 11:29, because he's a yogi, teaching you meditation, telling you got to meditate and you got to seek the kingdom within first.
Good morning,
that's what he says.
Listeners. I hope that you've been enjoying that last set. I will be taking you through what that was that you just heard.
So
we started off the set with a song called Viens au creux de mon épaule off of the...
At 8:25 p.m., 5 items. This is yesterday, the 13th. Today's number day is 18. Yesterday was 17. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17. 1 and 7, 8. Infinite. 1075 total. 8:25 p.m. 5 items. 5 Eve, Venus, Roman numeral 5, the V of everyone, everywhere, everything. 4:04 p.m. This is one of my friends and colleagues' purchase, cruise member discount. 4:04, and then 11 items at the minute 55. So check it out. 445511. And then there was something else here, wasn't there, that I noted? Oh yeah, 44 plus L even, the pair of L's, equals 55. 5 and 5 is 10. 2091 at 350 for 19 items. 9119. 1 and 9. 10. Those are mirrors. 19 and 91 equal 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 0, 1. Again. All and none is all. It's a paradox. It's the true contradiction. When you break the spell of hell, when you're no longer word controlled, and you practice taking no thought, you activate your right hemisphere, which is intuition. You start using more than just 3% of your brain, right? You start to get all this crap. You part the Red Sea, you cross the Red Sea, cross over, pass over, overcome. 6:35 p.m. 7:40. Oh, look, the 35th minute and the 35th second. 7:48 total. 48, 35, 35. 3 and 5, 8. 8, infinite. Of all the gates, the bull gates. This one, 6:50 p.m. 10 items. Oh, this is really interesting, this one, because it was 11:13. These are all really interesting. 4137 total on the 13th, right? Look at the change. 13. 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 tree. There's only one tree. Those 2 trees, right? In Eden 18 3 6 9 18. Die 18, right? Life, death. They're one. There's only one tree. The multiplicity is illusory. Unity and multiplicity are unity. Paradox. Summer and winter is summer. Yang and yin is yang. Adam and Eve is Adam. The atom and the electron are the atom. On and off is on. Up and down is up. Top and bottom is top. 818, this is the last one. 818, 1895 total. 18, the Garden of 18. And before I go today, we're gonna read more about synchronicity and man and his symbols, since I just shared those synchronicities with you. And we're dealing with esoteric, mysterious, mystic, myth stuff. Let's read some more about synchronicity here. There's so much good stuff in here. This is going to last me for a long time. Let's go to page 211 in Man and His Symbols now, about synchronicity. Apparently, according to the index here, there's something about synchronicity on 211. $203, $207, $211, $211. That is a painting by the modern artist Hans Hofenrichter. Resembles the pattern of a crystal, like ordinary stone, a symbol of wholeness. Right there. It's a beautiful painting. We're going to read from page 211. Let's start page 210, because we'll start with that paragraph there. The fact that this highest and most frequent symbol of the self is an object of inorganic matter points to yet another field of inquiry and speculation. And we're talking about the alchemical stone. I'm going to go back to that part. The alchemical stone, the lapis, symbolizes something that can never be lost or dissolved, something eternal, that some alchemists compared to the mystical experience of God within one's own soul. It usually takes prolonged suffering to burn away all the superfluous psychic elements concealing the stone. Some profound inner experience of the self does occur to most people at least once in a lifetime. From the psychological standpoint, a genuine religious attitude consists of an effort to discover this unique experience within. and gradually to keep in tune with it. It is relevant that a stone is itself something permanent, so that the self becomes an inner partner toward whom one's attention is continually turned. The fact that this highest and most frequent symbol of the self is an object of inorganic matter points to yet another field of inquiry and speculation. That is, the still unknown relationship between what we call the unconscious psyche and what we call, quote-unquote, matter. A mystery with which psychosomatic medicine endeavors to grapple. L. In studying this still undefined and unexplained connection, it may prove to be that psyche and matter are actually the same phenomenon, one observed from within and the other from without. Dr. Jung put forward a new concept that he called synchronicity. This term means a meaning, and that's in his 1947 essay. This term means a quote-unquote meaningful coincidence of outer and inner events that are not themselves causally connected. The emphasis lies on the word meaningful. If an aircraft crashes before my eyes as I am blowing my nose, this is a coincidence of events that has no meaning. It is simply a chance occurrence of a kind that happens all the time. But if I bought a blue frock and by mistake the shop delivered a black one on the day one of my near relatives died, this would be a meaningful coincidence. The two events are not causally related, but they are connected by the symbolic meaning that our society gives to the color black. Wherever I'm watching the show Blacklist on Netflix, the series with James Spader, I think he produces and writes it too. And guess what? They're going after a global cabal, secretly ruling the world. The two events are not causally related, but they are connected by the symbolic meaning that our society gives to the color black, death. Wherever Dr. Jung observed such meaningful coincidences in an individual's life, it seemed, as the individual's dreams revealed, that there was an archetype activated in the unconscious of the individual concerned. To illustrate this by my example of the black frock, in such a case, the person who receives the black frock might also have had a dream on the theme of death. It seems as if the underlying archetype is manifesting itself simultaneously in inner and external events. The common denominator is a symbolically expressed message, in this case a message about death. As soon as we notice that certain types of event like, quote-unquote, like, to cluster together at certain times, we begin to understand the attitude of the Chinese, whose theories of medicine, philosophy, and even building are based on a science of meaningful coincidences. The classical Chinese texts did not ask what causes what, but rather what likes to occur with what. One can see much the same underlying theme in astrology and in the way various civilizations have depended on consulting oracles, and paying attention to omens, homes within. All of these are attempts to provide an explanation of coincidence that is different from one that depends on straightforward cause and effect. In creating the concept of synchronicity, Dr. Jung sketched a way in which we might penetrate deeper into the interrelation of psyche and matter, and it is precisely towards such a relation that the symbol of the stone seems to point, but this is still a completely open and insufficiently explored matter, with which future generations of psychologists and physicians must deal. It may seem that my discussion of synchronicity has led me away from my main theme, but I feel it is necessary to make at least a brief introductory reference to it because it is a Jungian hypothesis that seems to be pregnant with future possibilities of investigation and application. Synchronistic events, moreover, almost invariably accompany the crucial phases of the process of individuation. But too often they pass unnoticed because the individual has not learned to watch for such coincidences and to make them meaningful in relation to the symbolism of his dreams.